Imagine this. You're driving peacefully when suddenly a reckless driver cuts you off. Your heart races, your hands grip the wheel, and a wave of anger washes over you. Sound familiar? Anger is like a volcano ready to erupt inside us, threatening to destroy everything in its path. But what if I told you there's a way to extinguish that fire before it even starts? An ancient philosophy that can transform your life and ensure you're never ruled by anger again. I'm talking about Stoicism, an ancient wisdom that is changing the lives of millions in the modern world. Stoicism isn't just another complicated theory. The practical tool you can use every day to become mentally and emotionally stronger. Think of it as a superpower that allows you to face daily frustrations with calm and clarity. The ancient Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor, and Epictetus, former slave turned philosopher, understood something fundamental about anger. They realized that anger isn't caused by events themselves, but by our interpretation of those events. It's like each situation is a movie, and we are the directors choosing how to react. Imagine you're late for an important meeting because you got stuck in traffic. The situation is the same for everyone, but reactions can be completely different. One person might get furious, cursing and banging on the steering wheel. Another might calmly accept the situation, using the extra time to mentally prepare for the meeting. The difference lies in how each person interprets and reacts to the event. The Stoics teach us that anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. It consumes us from within, affecting our health, relationships, and ability to make sensible decisions. But here's the good news. Just as we learn to get angry, we can unlearn it. And Stoicism offers us the tools to do so. The first powerful lesson Stoicism teaches is the dichotomy of control. It's a simple yet revolutionary idea. There are things we can control and things we cannot. Our task is to focus all our energy on what we can control and accept with serenity what we cannot. Think of it like a card game. You can't control the cards you're dealt, but you can control how you play them. Similarly, we can't control if it rains on our outdoor wedding day, but we can control our reaction to it. When we apply the dichotomy of control to situations that usually make us angry, something magical happens. Instead of wasting energy being frustrated over things we can't change, we focus on our response, which is the only thing within our control. Let's practice together. Think of something that irritated you recently. Now, mentally separate what you can control in that situation from what you cannot. Notice how, by focusing only on what you can influence, the anger starts to dissipate. It's like redirecting the volcano's energy into something productive, instead of letting it explode. The second powerful lesson of Stoicism is the concept of amor fati, which means love of fate. It's the idea of not just accepting what happens, but embracing and loving every moment, no matter how challenging it may seem. Imagine you're surfing. You can't control the waves, but you can learn to ride them, no matter their size or strength. Amor fati is like becoming an experienced surfer of life. Instead of fighting against the waves, you learn to flow with them. Friedrich Nietzsche, famous German philosopher, embraced this idea and said, "My formula for greatness in a human being is amor fati, that one wants nothing to be different, not forward, not backward, not in all eternity, not merely bear what is necessary, still less conceal it. Love it." When we practice amor fati, anger loses its power over us. Instead of getting furious about a delayed flight, we can see it as an opportunity to read that book we've been putting off, or have an interesting conversation with a stranger at the airport. The third lesson of Stoicism that can help us overcome anger is the practice of negative visualization, or premeditatio malorum. This might seem counterintuitive at first. After all, why would we think about bad things happening? But this technique is incredibly powerful. The idea is simple. Regularly imagine the worst possible scenarios. Not to become pessimistic or anxious, but to mentally prepare and appreciate what you have now. It's like training your brain. Think of an Olympic athlete. Before a major competition, they not only train physically, but also mentally. They visualize all possible obstacles and challenges they might face. When the actual competition comes, they're prepared for anything. Similarly, when we practice negative visualization, we're preparing for life's challenges. When something bad really happens, instead of being surprised and reacting with anger, we're ready to handle the situation with calm and balance. Let's do a quick exercise. Imagine you lose your phone. Visualize all the inconveniences this would cause. Now think about how you would handle this situation. What solutions would you find? How would you turn this challenge into an opportunity? By doing this kind of exercise regularly, you're strengthening your emotional resilience. It's like creating a mental shield against anger and frustration. When things don't go as planned, instead of reacting with anger, you're prepared to deal with the situation constructively. Fourth and final lesson of Stoicism we'll explore is the cosmic perspective. The Stoics teach us to step back and see our daily worries in the context of the vast universe. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, wrote, "You are a little soul carrying a corpse." It might seem a bit grim at first glance, but it's a powerful reminder of our smallness in the grand scheme of things. Imagine you're in an airplane, looking out the window. As the plane ascends, the cars and buildings become smaller and smaller. The things that seemed so important on the ground begin to look insignificant. That's exactly what the cosmic perspective does for us. When we practice this broader view, the small irritations of daily life, the coffee spilled on your shirt, the annoying coworker, the traffic jam, begin to seem less important. It's not that these problems disappear, but our reaction to them changes. It's like watching a movie of your own life. You can see the main character, yourself, getting irritated by something. But from your observer's position, you realize how small this problem is in the grand scheme of life. Let's practice together. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine yourself floating in space, looking down at Earth. See the planet slowly rotating, continents and oceans passing beneath you. Now, think of something that irritated you recently. From this perspective, how important does that problem really seem? This exercise isn't about diminishing your feelings or problems, but about putting them in perspective. When we practice this regularly, we develop a kind of mental zoom. We can quickly switch between the close-up of our immediate problems and the wide-angle view of our life as a whole. Now that we've explored these 4 powerful Stoic lessons, the dichotomy of control, amor fati, negative visualization, and the cosmic perspective, you might be wondering, how can I apply all this in my daily life? The key is in constant practice. Just like a muscle that needs regular exercise to stay strong, our mind needs daily training to master these Stoic techniques. Start small. Every morning when you wake up, practice the dichotomy of control. Make a mental list of things you can control that day and things that are out of your control. Focus your energy only on what you can influence. During the day, when you encounter a frustrating situation, pause for a moment. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, how can I practice amor fati here? How can I not just accept, but embrace this moment? Before going to bed, do a negative visualization exercise. Imagine some challenging scenarios you might face the next day and how you would handle them calmly and rationally. And whenever you feel anger starting to rise, step back and try to get a cosmic perspective. Remember how vast the universe is and how brief our existence in it. Remember, the goal isn't to never feel anger again. Emotions are a natural part of the human experience. The goal is not to be controlled by anger, not to let it dictate your actions and decisions. Will it be easy? Probably not. There will be days when you fail, when anger takes over, and that's okay. The important thing is not to give up. Keep practicing. Over time, you'll notice a change. Situations that used to make you furious now seem less important. You become more resilient, more balanced. It's like you have a secret superpower that allows you to navigate life's storms with calm and clarity. Imagine how your life would be if you could face any challenge without losing your cool. How your relationships would improve if you could respond with understanding instead of anger. How your career could soar if you could maintain composure in high-pressure situations. Stoicism isn't a magic solution that will make all your problems disappear. It's a tool, a path to a more balanced and fulfilling life. It's an invitation to take control of your mind and, by extension, your life. So next time you feel anger starting to rise, remember these Stoic lessons. Stop, breathe, and ask yourself, what is within my control in this situation? How can I embrace this moment? Am I prepared for this? What's the bigger perspective here? You have the power to choose your response to any situation. You have the power to transform anger into understanding, frustration into acceptance, challenges into opportunities for growth. The path of Stoicism lies before you. It's a path of inner strength, mental peace, and a life lived with purpose and balance. It's a path that can lead you to a better version of yourself. The journey begins with a single step. Start today. Start now. Practice these Stoic lessons and watch how your life changes. You have the power to never be ruled by anger again. You have the power to live a fuller, more meaningful, more Stoic life. The Roman philosopher and emperor Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This is the essence of Stoicism and the secret to a life free from the tyranny of anger. So what are you waiting for? Your journey to a calmer, more balanced, and more fulfilling life starts now. Embrace Stoicism, practice these powerful lessons, and discover the power that has always been within you. The power to never be ruled by anger. Power to live a truly Stoic life.